Hiya, so this video is going to be about orphaned orangutans. It's not that cheery of a topic, but I think it's quite an interesting one, and why it happens I think is probably the first thing I should go over. So, around places where orangutans live, places like Malaysia and Indonesia, there's a lot of palm oil plantations going up. So we use palm oil in a variety of things. It's in stuff like shower gels. I think it's shower gels. It might be shampoos. It's in a bunch of things. Peanut butter is one of them. And palm oil is it's just like a cheap vegetable oil of sorts. It's very, very cheap, and it's useful, and it's used in probably most food products. It's only ones that say they're palm oil free that probably won't have it. It's very, very cheap. It's like high yielding, so you get a lot out of quite a small area. But regardless, the whole world uses this stuff, and only a small area of land on Earth can actually grow it, and Indonesia and Malaysia happen to be in this area. So a lot of normal rainforest is cut down, and in the process of cutting down that rainforest, sometimes mother orangutans are killed, and in other times, sometimes areas of rainforest that have been deforested, something like that. Either way, areas like that are much more accessible to people, and it can mean that sometimes orangutans like baby orangutans, can be kidnapped and taken away from their mothers and actually sold in some sort of animal trafficking, often being used as like exotic pets, or sometimes even in stuff like orangutan fighting rings. I know there's a few of them about. It's really weird stuff, and it's just unethical. But regardless of that, there's a lot of orangutans that are separated at a young age from their mother, and this is a massive problem. Unlike a lot of animals, orangutans, when they're born, they have no idea what they're doing. There's no like real instinct to what they have to do. A lot of it is taught, and they don't learn in like a community. They learn purely and like only from their mother. If they don't have their mother and they ended up going in the wild on their own, they would die. There is no doubt about that. They just will die. They need a mentor, because it's difficult to survive in the rainforest, and as smart of an animal as they are, it's not really possible for an animal like them to survive without very specific knowledge. They pass down knowledge through generations and stuff. So it's a really big issue when babies are separated from their mothers, and I've went through the reasons why it happens, but I want to talk about how they actually fix that. How do people fix this problem? Because ultimately, if you separate a baby orangutan from its mum, well, is there anything that can be done? Or are they just going to be finished? And the answer is, yeah, there are things that can be done. Now, the first thing is that a lot of these orangutans need to be rescued from their current situations. So it could be orphaned orangutans in the actual forest need to be found and taken in and put in some sort of protection where they'll actually survive, first of all. And also the fact that orangutans that have been kidnapped also need to be rescued. And I'm actually going to show a video now of this orangutan that had been kidnapped from its mother, and then how it got reunited with its mum, which in this orangutan's case is going to allow it to be able to survive again, because it happened in quite a short period of time. So it'll be able to like learn to live again. And then after that, I want to talk about what about the orangutans that aren't so lucky and say their mothers have been killed. How do they survive, and how do people help them?
At the Jungle School Clinic, babysitter Ursula is about to try to reintroduce baby Clarita to teenage mum Clara.
Ini bayi ini kan? Iya. Hai, manis. Nih. Nah, lihat nih. Benar dulu ya. Hai.
After a week apart, there is a real danger that Clara will reject or even harm her baby. Both mother and baby are recovering from a painful rash.
Clara. Clara. Hey. Hey. Claranya lihat anaknya begini, dia lihat sepertinya dia senang, happy, dia melihat anaknya itu. Setelah saya ajak bicara Claranya, saya bicara ini anaknya Clara udah sembuh, kami kembalikan lagi. Jangan ditarik ya, Clara.
With such encouraging signs, they decide to take the risk. It can't be too soon for the impatient mother.
Clara. Ini adiknya.
Sayang.
Sayang.
The entire team of vets is there to witness this important moment.
Hai Clara, enggak, aku enggak ngambil lagi kok. Enggak diambil kok. Punya Clara tuh.
There's one more hurdle.
Actually, when the mothers reject the baby, sometimes they just like let them starve. Yeah, they don't want to give a milk.
But then Clarita's cries stop.
Oh my God, I cannot say it in words. It's so beautiful. Like, oh, it's my baby. And Clarita also like, oh, is it my mother? Finally, I can see her again after a long time. It was one of the best moments when I work here to see the reunited mother and daughter after separate. It's really nice.
So as you saw in that video, the orangutan got reunited with its mum. It was very, very heartwarming. I thought it was nice. And I thought it was a good clip to see. But yeah, that orangutan will probably be able to survive now just from its own mum's help, because they recognise each other, which is always a good thing. But a lot of orangutans aren't so lucky to have their mothers around still, and even the ones who do aren't necessarily able to be reunited with them. And so there's another idea for these orangutans. It's quite specialized. It's almost like rehabilitation of some sorts. So there's a big YouTube channel, I think it's called Orangutan Jungle School. I think it's under Smithsonian or something like that. Anyways, the purpose of this, it's a charity, and they have like a rainforest compound of some sorts, and the orangutans that have been put in these situations, like kidnapped or orphaned, are taken to this jungle school. And instead of having other orangutans, like their mothers, teach them, they have human caretakers. Orangutans are very smart animals, and they can't necessarily just learn from other orangutans. They can learn from people as well. After all, we are also great apes. So there's a similarity. And so these orangutans are often taken into these jungle schools, and there they learn how to actually survive in the wild. Things like learning to fear snakes, how to crack coconuts, just a variety of things, like learning how to use tools, things they would have learnt from their own mums, but they would have never ever learnt on their own. And that in itself is very helpful. The fact that they're also around other orangutans means they can learn from each other, which is like a useful thing to have, because they need to learn how to interact with other orangutans, because they will bump into them once in a while once they're in the wild. But once these orangutans have learned and they're able to be self-sufficient, they are released as soon as possible back into the wild, and that allows them to live normal life, as they should have been able to in the first place. But these are some really, really great charities, and they're doing some incredible work. So if it's something you'd be interested in supporting, I'll leave a couple of charity links in the description. I'm not entirely sure about how much of the actual money goes to the charity. I imagine it's a lot, but it's probably worthwhile checking that yourself. But there's quite a few that do it. So have a look, see if you'd be interested in it. If not, it's fine. But if you are, then go for it. But anyways, thanks a lot for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. Goodbye.